Want this quick guide on how to increase Project Zomboids RAM limit. Now, just to explain, the reason you want to do this is because Project Zomboid tends to allocate very little RAM to the game by default, mainly on Windows. Linux, I've noticed, doesn't really do that. But if you're going to play a large mod pack or actively playing one, your game is probably going to be running like absolute crap. Let me tell you, I've experienced it. So, this is how to increase it. Now, as a quick disclaimer, if you have a 32-bit system, so your CPU is 32-bit, or your operating system, then you're not going to be able to do this, since your computer is unable to allocate more than 4 gigabytes of RAM to an application. That's just an issue with 32-bit and a limitation. So, provided your computer is modern, which it probably is, then you're going to be fine. So, how do we fix this? First, we're going to want to open up Steam, which I have open right here. And we're going to want to go over this little cog right here, Manage, or you can right-click over here. Right-clicking over here is easier. So you want to right-click, Manage, Browse Local Files. Now, this will bring up a folder. I'm on Linux here, so it's slightly different, but it's basically identical in Windows. So I go to here. You should see this in Windows. A whole bunch of files. Now, the main file we're looking for is this file, projectzomboid64.json. This JSON file essentially contains all the configs of the games, well, RAM and everything, which we're going to pull up here. So inside this file is a whole bunch of stuff. Most of this isn't important, but this is the party trick. Now, just to quickly explain, XMX just defines the maximum amount of RAM the game will use, since Project Zomboid runs in Java. Now, Java is a bit weird, and it uses virtual machines, sort of lets it do, makes it very universal, but of course this RAM system there is a bit useful and annoying, but it's easy to solve. So we just need to replace this value. Now, just to explain what this means, XMX just defines the maximum RAM, and then this value is in megabytes. Now, you don't have to use megabytes. If you replace the M with a lowercase g, then you can use gigabytes. Now, just as a rule of thumb when allocating memory, you're going to want to do around half of your memory. So I have 32 gigs, so you'll probably want to do 16 if you have the same amount. Just divide your RAM count by 2. You can always allocate more if necessary, but 50% is a good safe number. Of course, you can experiment however you like. You do you. So, I'm going to replace this value. So we're going to remove these numbers, and then I'm going to 16G. We want to save this document, then we can close it.